Well, we're finally here, Super Bowl 60, playing for the Lombardi Trophy. That's what it should look like, Vince Lombardi himself. It's the 16-3 Seattle Seahawks against the 17-3 New England Patriots. Great weather, Santa Clara, California. Can't wait to get into this. It's Super Bowl time, baby. Let's go. This game preview is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. NFL playoffs, let's go. DraftKings Sportsbook makes every game feel bigger. Postseason games shift fast. And with DraftKings live betting options, you can stay right in the moment. Plus, DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If the player in your eligible prop bet gets hurt at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. New customers, bet just $5. And if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Gruden. The crown is yours. This Top of Mind is brought to you by Chevrolet. Playoffs separate the pretenders from the football guys. It's win or go home, and you need a truck that's playing like it's on its rookie deal. Hungry, tough, and ready to grind. The Chevy Silverado doesn't take plays off. No drama, no contract holdouts, just pure grit. If trucks had stats, this one's leading the league. So while your team fights to win the big game, make sure you got the MVP of dependability in your driveway. Chevy Silverado, built for the playoffs, built for football guys. Learn more about Chevy Silverado at Chevy.com. Okay, here we go. It's Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara, California. The 16-3 Seattle Seahawks representing the NFC against the AFC champion New England Patriots, who are 17-3. This is a Super Bowl not a lot of geniuses expected. I went back and researched it. Before the season started, the Patriots were 60-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Seahawks, they were 60-1 to win the Super Bowl. That just goes to show you, not everybody's right all the time. This is the first time we've seen two 60-1 odd teams play in the Super Bowl. Hell's bells, ever. I don't think ever. It's been a long time, you know. To put it in perspective, the Arizona Cardinals were 55-1 to win the Super Bowl before the season. You know, the 1999 Rams that won the Super Bowl, they were 150-1. Think about that team. Dick Vermeil, Kurt Warner coming out of a grocery store to win the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots in 2001, with that bullshit tuck rule, you see, they themselves were 60-1 and they won that Super Bowl to start their dynasty. And the 1981 San Francisco 49ers, they beat Dan Marino with Joe Montana and Bill Walsh. That team was 50-1. So two teams with two coaches on the defensive side of the ball are here to play for the Lombardi Trophy. It's going to be awesome. Let's talk about these two head coaches. Mike Vrabel of the New England Patriots. He won 3 Super Bowls as a New England Patriot player. And what a feat it will be if he can be a first-year head coach with the New England Patriots and win one for the team as a coach. That would be legendary. You know, Vrabel inherited a team that was 4-13 the last 2 years. And he and his general manager, Elliott Wolf, who gets no credit. You talk about another under-the-radar Patriot. What a job they have done with all this cap space they had to start the season. They had over $125 million of cap space. And you say, well, they should add great players, and they should really improve their team. Well, just because you have a lot of cap space doesn't mean it translates into getting great players. You know who is the number 2 cap space team in the league, Jake, that spend the most money? The Minnesota Vikings. Do you see them out here? No. Who was 3rd in the league in spending? Ask me, Jake. Who? The New York Giants. So just because you have all this money doesn't mean you spend properly. They went out and got quality NFL players. Milton Williams, defensive tackle. Clavon Chason, defensive end. Spillane at linebacker. They got some really good players. Morgan Moses to play right tackle. Starters, guys that have come in and delivered. They've also drafted extremely well. Elliott Wolf and his scouting staff have 416 games that have been started by first-year players. All 11 of their rookies have been active at least one game this year. That is unbelievable. When you watch Craig Woodson playing at free safety, or Will Campbell at left tackle, or Jared Wilson at left guard, or Travion Henderson coming out of the backfield. These are rookies, man. So Elliott Wolf got the right players in free agency. He got the right players in the draft, and it's a credit to this entire New England Patriots staff. You know, you got to do a lot of research on these Super Bowl coaches and try to take some of the things that they do well and add it to your library of work. One of the things Vrabel did a really cool job of is you hear about these 4 H's. He had every player, I think every coach had to get up in front of the team and talk about their history, who their hero was. They had to talk about a heartbreak in their life and what they hoped for. But all these Patriots spent this time digging deep into every man's individual profile. And it helped them get to know each other, respect each other. And when you look at it, they play harder because they're playing for the guy next to them. They communicate better, and their performance has gotten better. The message from Vrabel is always consistent. He puts you on a great routine. He emphasizes fundamentals and techniques. The guy is legit great at coaching, man. And then there's the fact that you're Mike Vrabel and you have to work in the shadows of the great Bill Belichick. Don't forget, Bill Belichick left the Patriots in 2024. And working in his shadow, that can't be easy. By the way, how the hell does Bill Belichick not get put in the Hall of Fame on the first vote? Good God. And then on the other side, you have Mike Macdonald, who is in his second year, and what a job he has done. The Seahawks haven't been to the playoffs in the last 5 seasons. But Mike Macdonald, he had to succeed. A hell of a coach in Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll took Seattle to 2 Super Bowls, and Seattle went from the oldest coach to the youngest coach. And this defensive mastermind has done one hell of a job developing a culture, and he emphasizes these 3 letters I studied. M-O-B. I'm like, what does M-O-B stand for? Mind over bullshit. I love this guy, man. That's how I live my life. Let's get rid of the bullshit. Let's all get on the same page. And you can see that in the Seahawks film. How they play, how they communicate, how they interact and push and pull and celebrate each other's successes. This is a really cool culture that exists in Seattle. What I love the most about Mike Macdonald is I actually see him calling plays. You know, this is the first Super Bowl we've had in quite some time that has 2 defensive head coaches. The last 6 Super Bowls have been offensive coaches. I like offensive coaches. But Mike Macdonald, in my research, could he become the first defensive coach to ever win a Super Bowl that actually calls the plays? I mean, this guy's down there making adjustments, calling it play by play, and he does it week in and week out. I love that. And the Seahawks also have an outstanding general manager. We have talked about John Snyder, the executive of the year. You know, John Snyder's hit home runs this year. Quarterback Sam Darnold, trading for Rashid Shaheed. He brings in Cooper Kupp to come in and help develop this young receiving core. His draft choices might have the best left guard in football, Gray Zabel. How about Nick Emanwari, do-it-all defender, nickel, linebacker. The guy's done a hell of a job. And John Snyder and Elliott Wolf were together starting their careers in Green Bay. That's where I started my career. And this goes back to the great Hall of Fame GM, Ron Wolf, who traded for Brett Favre, who really helped the Packers become a world champion. Both of these 2 young GMs fall off of Ron Wolf's tree, and it's going to be cool to see these 2 young guys who grew up together clash heads in Super Bowl 60. This game is in Santa Clara, California, don't you know? Home of the San Francisco 49ers. They hosted a Super Bowl 10 years ago when the Denver Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers. And my weather analytics this week say it's going to be 72 degrees. The low will be 49, light winds. Let's hope the analytic BS doesn't screw up again like it did last week, weathermen. Maybe weathermen should get fired like coaches get fired. I mean, hell, 10 new head coaches? Seems like every offensive coordinator. What about some of these weathermen that screw up the forecast? Both of these teams started the season slow. Hell, we know New England started 1-2. I think Seattle was 3-2. But these teams are red hot right now. Seattle's won 9 straight games. In their last 5 games, they have beaten playoff teams. The Rams twice, the 49ers twice, Carolina. This team is playing really good football. And I love the New England Patriots on the road, man. They're 9-0 on the road. They won all 8 regular season games. They went to Denver last week, and I don't care who played quarterback. That was one hell of a win to get the AFC Championship game. They're undefeated, so I don't think Santa Clara bothers New England at all. This is the first Super Bowl ever where the head coach and the quarterback are in their first or second year. Think about it. This is unbelievable. Sam Darnold in his first year with Seattle with a second-year head coach. Mike Vrabel in his first year, head coach of the Patriots. He's got a second-year quarterback. That's never been done before. And both of these teams didn't even make the playoffs last year. We already said they were 60-1. Hell, there hasn't been a Super Bowl with 2 non-playoff teams the previous year since 2003. The Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots did battle. Did I do my research or what, Clay? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. How about the last time these 2 teams met in the Super Bowl? I'm sure you're going to be like, please don't show me any more of that game because that's the only highlights you're going to see all week. 28-24, the Seahawks lose to the Patriots. They had a 10-point lead, the Seahawks did, in the 4th quarter. Tom Brady, remember him? Touchdown to Julian Edelman. Tom Brady, Danny Amendola. Patriots have the lead, and Russell Wilson takes the Hawks all the way down to the 1-yard line. And on 2nd and 1, with beast mode standing back there, they threw a pass. God, fuck, I can't, whoa! It was intercepted by Malcolm Butler. Patriots win, and the most improbable finish to a football game I've ever seen. Seattle leads the all-time series. 11 wins versus 9 losses against the Patriots. The last time these 2 teams played was last year, week 2 in Gillette Stadium. New England won that game 23-20 over the Seahawks. Jacoby Brissett was quarterback in New England, and Geno Smith was quarterback in the Seattle Seahawks. But Jason Myers, he hit a overtime field goal to win that game. By the way, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he shredded New England. He had 12 catches for 117 yards. Don't forget that name, Jackson Smith and Jigba. This is the New England Patriots' 12th Super Bowl. That's 4 more than anybody else. What a storied franchise this is. And they have some players on their team that have Super Bowl experience. They have Milton Williams, Christian Ellis, Carlton Davis. They have Mac Hollins and Austin Hooper. 5 guys have been in the Super Bowl before. The Patriots, 40 postseason wins, #1 in NFL history. And they're going up against these Seattle Seahawks, who are in their 4th Super Bowl themselves. Remember a couple years ago when the Legion of Boom crushed Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos 43-8? Woo! That was an ass kicking. We already talked about the stinging defeat, 28-24 to the Patriots, and they also lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-10. There were some really tough officiating calls that went against the Seahawks in that one. But this is their 4th Super Bowl, and they have 2 players, both former Rams, Ernest Jones and Cooper Kupp, that have Super Bowl experience. I love this matchup because it's the 2 most balanced teams in the league. They're in the top 10 of every category on offense and on defense. And both teams have great special teams with great special teams kick returners. We don't want to get into all the numbers because then you sound like Rain Man. I don't want to do that. But Seattle's offense in the top 10 of all major categories, scoring, total, run and pass, against this New England defense that's in the top 10 against all of those categories themselves. And if you flip it, it's the Patriots offense. They're in the top 6 of every major category going up against the #1 ranked scoring defense, the Seattle Seahawks. Woo! This has got me feeling nicey. Woo! Then when it comes to special teams, I mean, hell, Rashid Shaheed, 4 returns for touchdowns for the Seahawks. Marcus Jones has taken 3 punts back for touchdowns for New England. This game has it all in all 3 phases. Let's talk about the officials in this game because they're going to matter, you know. I mean, right now, the referee is Sean Smith. This is his first game as the referee. You'll see Sean Smith wearing a white hat. But if you go down and look at the down judge, the line judge, the field judge, the side judge, the back judge, the replay official, some of these guys have Super Bowl experience and some of them don't. And I tell you, I just want you to think about that taunting penalty last week against Reek Woolen. Would you have called that flag, Jake?
Nope.
Would you have called it, Clay?
Hell no.
Would you call a penalty of that magnitude for a guy over there talking to you on the sidelines? Hell no. I go back to play number 60. Houston Texans have the ball. They throw a long pass to Higgins down the sideline. Patriots corner Carlton Davis. He has perfect coverage. And the referee on the sidelines, he's got his hand in his pocket like an old Western guy pulling out his 6-shooter. He can't. Is he gonna pull it and throw it, or is he gonna keep it in his pocket? That's what I see. Are these referees gonna let him play, or are they gonna be calling it tight? Let's let these guys play, please. But the officials, led by Sean Smith, the referee, will be scrutinized heavily in this game. You know, when you think about officiating, Seahawks fans will remember that Super Bowl in 2006. That offensive pass interference call against Jackson. Come on! That holding call on Sean Locklear. Did Ben Roethlisberger score on that quarterback sneak? Don't think for a second that officiating will be big. And Cincinnati Bengal fans, did Logan Wilson really commit pass interference late in the game? This is going to be tight, man. I can't wait to see how the officials call it. Let's talk about the two quarterbacks in this great matchup, starting with Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks. Not many quarterbacks are on their fifth team taking a ball club into the Super Bowl like Sam Darnold. Chris Chandler of the Atlanta Falcons in 1998 was on his fifth team. Earl Morrall back in 1970 took the Baltimore Colts to the Super Bowl. He got hurt. Johnny Unitas came off the bench to help the Colts win that on O'Brien's last-second field goal. But Sam Darnold is a man that epitomizes mental toughness, resiliency. He's been kicked out of the Jets, kicked out of Carolina. Couldn't win the job with the 49ers, and Minnesota went another direction as well. And here he is, right here on the brink of telling everybody, you guys were wrong about me, man. You know, I like USC. They've had 26 quarterbacks drafted in the league. 26! But Sam Darnold is the first Trojan to start at quarterback in the Super Bowl. Congratulations, Sam. Darnold is loved by his teammates, man. He is competitive, he is tough, he is talented. He's been working hard with Jordan Palmer in the last couple years, one of these private quarterback gurus, to really work hard on his release, tightening things up. His mechanics are really, really strong. And we all know he threw for over 4,000 yards this year. We all know he's going to his second straight Pro Bowl. He's won 30 games in his last 2 years with two different teams. No one's ever done that. But in the two playoff games, he's got a 122 quarterback rating. That's the fourth highest QBR of anybody ever entering the Super Bowl. And there's been 60 of them. I mean, he's even had an oblique problem, and he's kicking ass in these playoffs. So you know he's physically tough. He's like a Silverado tough. But people still find negative things with Sam Darnold. Oh, he led the NFL with 20 turnovers. Well, in 2019, against the Patriots, he threw 4 interceptions. He was 11 for 32. They lost 33-0. Hey, this is a completely different Darnold. I looked at those 4 interceptions against the Jets in 2019. Hell, it's an all-out blitz. They don't block anybody. It's an empty formation. They had no audibles. He had no chance. Then it's another all-out blitz, and the receiver screwed him. He didn't cross face. It was a terrible route. And then one of them is at the end of the game. He's throwing it up. Anyways, we looked at the interceptions. We studied his 10 fumbles. 4 times he got blindsided, man. What do you want the guy to do, man? Be Harry Houdini? Then he fumbled a snap against Arizona with his backup center. Are we just saying Sam made all the mistakes? No. And then all of his interceptions. Let me tell you about his interceptions. They actually have a vertical pass offense in Seattle. And when you throw the ball down the field, when you throw real passes, you could get some real problems. The protection could break down, the route could get tipped, a lot of things could happen. But some of the turnovers that fall directly on Sam Darnold's plate, they really aren't his fault. And then we have Drake May, the young quarterback of the New England Patriots. Second year. Could he become the youngest guy to ever win a Super Bowl? He's only 23 years old and 162 days. I mean, think about that. Dan Marino, he was 23 years old, I think 163 days old when he went to the Super Bowl when they lost to the 49ers. But what a performer Drake May has been. 72%, 31 touchdowns, 4,400 yards, led the league in QBR. But in the playoffs, it's been a different story statistically. Only 55% complete, and he has been hassled with the pass rush. 15 sacks in these playoffs. They gave up 47 during the regular season. The pass protection could be a problem. So I think Drake May's legs are the Patriots' winning edge. Yeah, he ran for 450 yards, 4 touchdowns in the regular season. How about that 28-yard scramble last week against the Denver Broncos, set up a field goal? Their only touchdown was a quarterback draw. And then on 3rd and 5 late in the game, he doesn't even tell anybody he's keeping it. He runs around the edge and ends the Broncos season. Second year in the NFL, and Drake May is in the Super Bowl. Only Brock Purdy, Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson, Kaepernick, Big Ben, Tom Brady, and Kurt Warner have done that, but he has a chance to become the youngest trigger to ever win a Super Bowl. The turnovers, again, will be a big part of this game. In the regular season, Seattle was -3. We've talked about their 28 giveaways this year in the regular season. They were 19th in the league, not very good. But in the playoffs, ask me how many turnovers Sam Darnold has in 2 games, Clay.
How many?
0. He's been unbelievable. So that is huge. The Patriots were +3 in the regular season. They had 19 takeaways, 16 giveaways, but they have struggled offensively. They have thrown 2 interceptions, and they have fumbled 6 times and lost 3. Thankfully for the Patriots, their defense has taken the ball away. But the turnover margin will be a big part of this game, who wins and who loses. Okay, special teams, 2 very good special teams outfits in this ball game. For the New England Patriots, Andy Borregales, he missed the 46-yarder. He missed the 63-yarder last week against the Broncos, but he has had a hell of a year. He started off slow, but really kicked extremely well down the stretch for the Patriots. When you watch the Patriots, everybody write this guy's number down, Jake. Brendan Schooler. He wears number 41. He's out of the University of Texas. I'm watching him against Houston. I was eating a chicken finger and I almost choked. He broke through about 9 guys, made 3 tackles on special teams. Then last week against Denver, same thing. Boom, boom. He's got 5 solos in like the last 2 games. So keep an eye on that guy, Schooler. They even have a young man named Leonard Taylor. They activated him off the practice squad last week. Taylor blocks a field goal from Will Lutz to help New England advance to the Super Bowl. And their punt returner, Marcus Jones, is phenomenal. He's the NFL all-time leader in yards per punt return. He wears number 25. So if you're Seattle, kick the ball to the sideline and limit his opportunities. The Seahawks are equally talented in special teams. Their special teams coach, Jay Harbaugh's done a nice job. Rashid Shaheed, they traded for the man from the New Orleans Saints. He's got 4 returns for touchdowns. Opening kickoff in the playoffs against the 49ers, he took it 95 yards to the house. The man is dangerous. And Jason Myers, the man we've already talked about, 44 out of 51 on field goals and 57 for 57 on PATs. That's an Iceman. This is early in the week, so take a good look at the injuries. For the New England Patriots, we must keep an eye on leading tackler Robert Spillane. He hurt that ankle against Denver. He played 13 snaps and has been taken out. We don't know if he's going to be ready to go. And Harold Landry, who had 8.5 sacks, he led the Patriots during the regular season. He was inactive against Denver with a knee injury. Will he be back for Super Bowl 60? Look into that. And for the Seattle Seahawks, We know Sam Darnold has an oblique. It looks like he's going to make it. Obviously, Brady Russell, their backup fullback, has a hand. We think he's going to play. And Charles Cross, who I was concerned about before the playoff game against the Rams, he threw a shutout. He looked great, and that was awesome to see him back. But the biggest concern for Seattle is second leading tackler Drake Thomas, number 42. He left that game in the second quarter with the shoulder, got replaced by Tyrese Knight. So keep an eye on Drake. A lot to get into. Super Bowl 60. Let's go. This offense-defense matchup is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut wants you to pressure your quarterback into saying pizza before the hut. If your quarterback says pizza before the hut, Pizza Hut will throw you a party. So tag your quarterback and use hashtag pizza before the hut. But there's no need to wait for that to happen. Order the Big New Yorker. It's their biggest pizza for the biggest games. $10 for a limited time. Order at pizzahut.com or in the app. Don't forget the pizza before the hut. Pizza Hut!
Hut! Hut!
No, Pizza Hut. Do it right. Pizza Hut. Okay, this Patriots offense against the Seattle Seahawks defense. What a matchup between coaches. Mike McDonald, we talked about the great job he's done, defensive mastermind, but hell, he's got to go up against Josh McDaniels, who deserves a hell of a lot of credit for this Patriot offense. And McDaniels, he's no stranger to the Super Bowl. He's won a lot of money in these games, and he's got 2 weeks to get ready. So it's going to be a tough process for the Seahawks defense because they're going to see some things they haven't seen on film yet from McDaniels. Both of these teams on this side of the ball aren't coming off of great outings. I mean, let's be honest, Matt Stafford lit up the dark side defense. He lit them up for 475 yards. And this Patriot offense, they have struggled throughout the postseason. Yes, they've been playing top 10 defenses, but last week against Denver was their toughest outing all season long. Barely over 200 yards. And you can say, the snow. Say it, Jake.
The snow.
Say it, Clay.
Snow.
It wasn't the snow. They had 72 yards total offense in the first half, and there wasn't a flake out there. It was a sunny day. Snow. They had one touchdown, and that was a 12-yard scoring drive after Jarrett Stidham fumbled that ball on that half-ass lateral play. They're going to have to play better. They're going to have to block better and eliminate the negative plays, and they got to take a lot better care of their quarterback to come out of here with the victory. But the great thing the Patriots did is they did not turn the ball over, and they did what they had to do to win. But they averaged 28.8 points a game in the regular season. They're averaging 18 points a game in the postseason. No team in the history of the NFL has won a Super Bowl and beaten 4 top 10 defenses. They've already taken down the 3rd-ranked Denver Bronco defense, the 2nd-ranked Houston Texan defense, and the 9th-ranked LA Charger defense. Well, guess what the Seahawks rank? They're number 1. This will be their toughest test yet because these Seahawks, they're not happy about the way they played. I can feel it, and they are ready to show you the dark side. One of the keys in this game for the Patriots is using the legs of their young quarterback, Drake May. I mean, he runs around as good as anybody. He's 3rd in the NFL in yardage scrambling. He's run for 423 yards. He's run for 27 first downs. Only Josh Allen and Justin Herbert have more yardage running scrambling than this guy. And they barely have more yards. You know, if you look at every one of Drake May's drop back passes this year, over 10% of the time he takes off and runs. So that's a big part of this Patriot offense is him creating with his wheels. That's why I compare him to a young Tom Brady with wheels, because he can really throw, he makes great decisions, and this guy can take off and hurt you. For a young quarterback, this man is really calm and cool under pressure. When the blitz is on, when he's under pressure, he's thrown 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. Not only is he good under pressure, but Josh McDaniels and this offensive staff have given him a great pressure plan. He can audible, he can hand signal routes, and rarely does Drake May miss. When you're blitzing him, he's going to fix a protection and take a shot. I think Josh McDaniels and Drake May are going to spend the entire 2 weeks studying 3 films. They're going to study the last 2 Rams-Seahawks films, and they're going to study what Baker Mayfield did to the dark side. Mayfield went 29 for 33 for almost 400 yards in Seattle. And the last 2 times Matt Stafford played against this dark side defense, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, in this 9-game winning streak for the Seahawks, when they played the Rams in those 2 games, they've given up 530 yards a game to Matt Stafford and the Rams. They've given up 411 yards a game passing. So don't think Josh McDaniels and Drake May aren't looking at that. Against the other 7 teams, they've given up 9.7 points a game and just 214 yards a game. So if I'm Josh McDaniels, I'm watching Matt Stafford and I'm watching Baker Mayfield to see maybe there's some things that we can do that they did. New England was a really good red zone team during the regular season. They were a very good third down team during the regular season. You hear about the Patriot way. Well, the Patriot way is dominating situational football. Third down is a situation that they have done a great job of for a long time. But in the postseason, they are only getting about 30% third down conversions. And when you go up against the top-ranked third down defense like Seattle, good God, that's not good. They got to fix their third down woes. And the Patriots were really good in the red zone during the regular season, almost 60% touchdowns, with a really cool nucleus of plays, running, passing, screens, moving the pocket. But in the playoffs, they're only scoring touchdowns 33% of the time. They're going to have to play great situationally in this Super Bowl, I think, to win it. They've got to play better than they have in the last couple weeks. The number one issue for the Patriots is their pass protection. And they've given up 15 sacks in the postseason. We know they've given up 62 sacks since the start of the season. They have issues at left tackle. Their rookie, Will Campbell, has struggled. They have a rookie at left guard, and they're playing one hell of a fierce rush from the Seattle Seahawks. So Josh McDaniels and his help system are going to have to play a big role. Backs chipping to help on the left side. Tight ends chipping on the right side. The uncovered linemen keeping your head on a swivel. Planting some people. They're going to have to do a great job against this 4-man rush of the Seahawks. They don't blitz much. I expect Josh McDaniels to do a great job with his quick passing game. 1, 2, 3, ball's gone. A lot of quick passes, a lot of screens, a lot of draws, and look for Drake May to move the pocket to try to negate some of the fierce matchups that Seattle thinks they have in this game. I mean, really, against Denver, Drake May got sacked 5 times. He got hit 7 times, and they had 8 tackles for loss. That's way too much conflict back there in the pocket. And the fumbles, the 6 fumbles that Drake May has had in the playoffs are a direct result of quick pressure that gets up in his cage. I think the Patriots will go to their jumbo package. They're going to bring in an offensive tackle, Thayer Munford, former Raider. He's going to come in and check in as a tight end. He wears number 74. And the Patriots are going to use this jumbo attack to run their running back, Ramondre Stevenson. He's like a Chevy Silverado, man, that also has quickness. He's a versatile back. He's a great receiver. He's a big play back. But this Ramondre Stevenson has taken over for the Patriots in the postseason. I haven't even seen my friend Travion Henderson very much at all. They used Stevenson last week against Denver in the snow against that top-ranked Bronco defense, and they kept handing him the ball. He had 25 carries for 71 yards. He had 9 carries in the fourth quarter. He put the Texans away in the fourth quarter. Everybody knew he was going to get the ball. You knew it, the fans knew it, and the defense knew it. And he still slammed it up in there with this jumbo tight end in there. 3-yard gain, 4-yard gain, first down, 2 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards. Bottom line is they had 21 minutes of time of possession in the second half against Denver. Denver had 9. That's not good if you're the Broncos. I think they're going to use this back and shorten this game and give it to Stevenson over 20 times and let him slam it right at Seattle and try to slow this game down. I mean, this guy has 58 touches for 280 yards from scrimmage in the postseason. They are using his receiving skills. He had a 48-yard check down against the Chargers. That's Malasek. And as always, Josh McDaniels' ball distribution is something I admire tremendously. 7 different men have caught over 30 passes and at least 1 touchdown. Tight ends, receivers, and backs are all a big part of it. And gadget plays. The Patriots are famous for them. They ran a flea flicker last week on that 31-yard gain to Mac Hollins. Josh McDaniels, he's going to have something for you, Seattle. And when you see it, you're going to say, Gruden told me. Both of these are great offensive coordinators, Clint Kubiak, Josh McDaniels. And you know the New England Patriots ran a flea flicker last week against Denver. But in the history of the Super Bowl, if you're a Seahawk fan, do you remember when the Steelers' Randall L. at wide receiver became the first wide receiver to throw a touchdown to Hines Ward? That trick play won him that game. And then how about Nick Foles on 4th down against the Patriots on the Philly special? There's going to be a trick play in this game. And I know some of you gambling guys, what's that thing, Jake?
2.5 players.
2.5 players are going to throw a pass. I would take that all day of the week. The Seattle Seahawks defense, led by Mike McDonald, it is a fun group to watch. Me and Coach Zook, we sit here, we watch the tape all morning, all night, and we stop the film and we count the Seahawks. There's 8 Seahawks right next to the guy that they tackled. The next frame, there's 9 Seahawks. Sometimes there's 10. Everybody's running to the ball trying to get that guy on the ground. They play with great energy. They play their asses off, and I love it. But you got to try to find some cracks. You got to try to find some holes. Like I said, I know New England's going to be looking at those 2 Matt Stafford big games. I know they're going to be looking at Mayfield's big game. There have been some quarterbacks that the Seahawks played that aren't really up to Drake May's caliber. I mean, they got to see Phillip Rivers, no disrespect, but Phillip was coaching high school for 4 years. They got to see Max Brosmer of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know Max Brosmer. They got to see Kyler Murray, who was struggling with Arizona. Then they saw Jacoby Brissett, his backup at Arizona. They saw Spencer Rattler of the New Orleans Saints right before he got benched. They saw Kirk Cousins, who was just stepping back into the lineup after Penix got hurt. Bottom line is, there are some games I don't think Josh McDaniels is going to spend a lot of time looking at. But I think at the top of the list for Mike McDonald of the Seahawks is we got to plaster in coverage. We got to hold our coverage for a long period of time. We cannot let Drake May escape and get a bomb down the field. That's big. Secondly, we might want to stunt the front. We might want to mush the rush a little bit to keep May in the pocket. I mean, this guy's making a lot of yardage, as we've talked about. We also need to bat a ball down. We got monsters inside, guys like Leonard Williams. Jaron Reed, get your hands up, knock a pass up in the air, let's pick it off. Got to limit the off-schedule plays that Drake May is making. And then we know this, the Seahawks are going to play nickel, almost 92% nickel. But it's really not nickel. All these statistical people, Nick Eamon-Worry is not your normal nickel. When you meet the guy, he looks like a freaking linebacker. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. When he's in the slot, technically he's a nickel because they call him a safety. But he can play linebacker without sweating a drop. I mean, this is a nickel team. They're just going to have to figure out how they're going to negotiate Josh McDaniels and the Patriots when they come out in their jumbo with Mumford in there playing tight end. That'll be interesting. The Seahawks do a great job getting pressure on the quarterback with this outstanding pass rush. I mean, you got Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy, great inside rush, and they got a litany of guys coming off the edge. They can get pressure on you with 4 men, and that allows them to play multiple zone coverages and keep vision on the quarterback. It didn't work extremely well last week against the Rams. They only blitzed 1 time in the first half. I think they only blitzed 7 times in the game. But this is a team that relies on a 4-man rush, multiple zone coverages for the most part. They must stop Ramondre Stevenson. Take away the scrambling plays, and we got to get the New England Patriots in 2nd and 10. We got to get them in 3rd and long. We got to make them do what they don't want to do, and that's pass protect. And we got to cut our beasts loose. The Seahawks, They've gone 27 straight games without giving up a 100-yard back. I mean, they saw Christian McCaffrey twice. He couldn't do it. Kyron Williams of the Rams saw him twice. He couldn't do it. Jonathan Taylor couldn't do it. Bijan Robinson couldn't even do it. But it's really important that they stuff the run, create some negative plays. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see some corner blitzes from Witherspoon. We see some safety blitzes. Try to knock this run out on first down against this jumbo personnel and make them throw it. Much as I love the Seattle Seahawks secondary, you got to admit, they got lit up last week. They gave up 40-yard passes. Josh Jobs got beat. He got beat over here by Witherspoon. I mean, a lot of passing yards. But what you love about these guys is how resilient they are. I mean, not only do they give up a lot of passes, 3 touchdowns, explosive plays, then they get the taunting penalty. I mean, I wonder what the guy said. But they get all this adversity, and they respond. And they get the key stops when they need them, like that 4th down stop by Witherspoon in the red zone at the end of the game. They really do a great job hanging in there, weathering the storm when they have to. Like I said, my biggest concern is Josh McDaniels with 2 weeks to prepare. I mean, this is a bye week, man. There's going to be some unscouted looks that you can't prepare for because you haven't seen them. And there's going to be a lot of plays, I think, that McDaniels runs that look exactly like the plays he's been running, but guess what? It's a reverse. Or guess what? It's a play action pass or a bootleg. Nobody really does it better than Josh McDaniels, especially in the big games. Very important that the Seahawks turn it up front. I think they have some really good matchups in their favor. They had 47 sacks during the regular season. A bunch of sacks come up the gut with Murphy and Williams. They have 17 different men that have contributed at least a half a sack or more. So there are perimeter blitzes, linebacker dogs, there are stunts. There's a lot of cool things in this pass rush from Seattle. But they only have 3 sacks in 2 postseason games. I think they got to get home more often. Let's take a look at the matchups. The offensive line for the Patriots, they have a bullseye on their chest. They have given up 15 sacks in the 3 postseason games. Left tackle Will Campbell against DeMarcus Lawrence. I think that's a money matchup, especially on passing downs. When it's 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 8, zoom in on the left tackle and see how Campbell handles the edge, the blind side of Drake Mays. Left guard rookie Jared Wilson, he got injured late in the year, but he's back. Center Garrett Bradbury, the ex-Minnesota Viking, very athletic, really sharp in terms of communication, but size is a disadvantage sometimes against the power rushes. Right guard Mike Onwenu has had a career year. I think he looks great moving back inside at guard. And Morgan Moses, from a pro football focus standpoint, has had one of his best years ever, although he did get edged last week and got beat for a sack by Jonathan Cooper of the Broncos. The Seahawks, they have a great starting unit and they have some depth. DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the ringleaders. He has had a great postseason. He's got 2 sacks. He's got 7 pressures in just 2 games. He is feeling it right now. They can put him inside in nickel situations, but for the most part, he plays on the edge. The other guy is Nwasu. Nwasu, he had 8 sacks during the regular season. He's been injured. He's been beat up a little bit down the stretch. So keep an eye on number 7, Nwasu. He's had 2 weeks to get right. They also used number 53, Boye Mafe, the former Minnesota Golden Gopher. He's a badass. He has a ton of pressures. Surprisingly, he hasn't closed out a number of them. But this guy's dangerous, 53, especially if Nwasu's hurting. The other guy is Derek Hall, number 58. He is a freaking power rusher, man. He comes into the game in obvious passing situations. He keeps DeMarcus Lawrence fresh. They got 4 really good rushers on the outside. And I don't like Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy. I absolutely love them. They have combined for 91 pressures, man. And I'm talking quick pressures. Their factor grades are excellent. And Byron Murphy has become a star in just his 2nd season. Nobody saw 7 sacks coming from Byron Murphy. But his lateral pursuit and power against the running game, it is impressive, man. They have some depth in here. The veteran Jerron Reed, number 90, he is one of the true leaders of the Seahawks in their clubhouse. And try running the ball against that guy. He's like a fire hydrant in there, man. Advantage Seahawks, I think, when it comes to dominating the line of scrimmage. We've talked about the running game of the Patriots. They used the two-headed monster during the season. But I just love Ramondre Stevenson and what he's been able to do this season. Think about it. The season starts, he lost his father about 5 months before the season. Tragically loses his dad. And then early in the season, he's starting against the Steelers. He fumbles the ball a couple times, and they're booing him out of the stadium. So this guy has to be depressed. A lot of guys like me, I don't know how I could handle that. But this guy, he weathers the storm, man. He shows the mental toughness to come back and become the freaking Silverado of this offense, man. And don't lose sight of this man as a pass receiver, and don't lose sight of Stevenson as a big play operator. He's 7th in the NFL when it comes to running backs with explosive plays. I mean, a guy has 12 plays of over 20 yards, 5 catches, 7 runs. This guy's a badass. He's my dark horse to be the Super Bowl MVP. Ramondre Stevenson. You know what I love about Stevenson the most, Jake?
What?
Is I study pass protection. And this guy was asked to pass protect 93 times this year. You know what he does on those pass protections?
What?
He wins. He stuffs linebackers. He stuffs DBs. He's only given up a few pressures. He's a really reliable 3-down back. And Henderson, I know he's a rookie, had 900 yards rushing. He had 4 runs of over 50 yards. I saw 2 of them against Tampa. He was rolling over about 25 miles an hour. Should have got a speed ticket. Anyways, Henderson been quiet in the playoffs. He has struggled in pass protection as well. And in the Super Bowl, I think Josh McDaniels, Mike Vrabel are going to lean on Stevenson. That's why I think he's going to be my MVP. And the linebacking core of the Seattle Seahawks, they're led by Ernest Jones, former Super Bowl champion with the Los Angeles Rams. Jones is a badass. Against the 49ers, he forces a fumble. He has an interception in the first playoff game. Then he leads the Seahawks in tackles last week. 130 tackles, 5 picks. I said it last week. Nobody's done that since Earl the Silver Bullet Thomas for the Seahawks. This guy's a great 3-down linebacker. I can't wait to see Ernest Jones and Ramondre Stevenson up in the hole, man. But who's the other linebacker going to be? Is it going to be Drake Thomas? We know he hurt that shoulder in the second quarter against the Rams, did not return. Fortunately, they have Tyrese Knight, who was a starter before Drake Thomas took over. Tyrese Knight wears number 48. He has 49 tackles and 2 sacks this season, and he's experienced in this Mike McDonald offense. So keep an eye on that other linebacker position. Thomas is a big play player. 3.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 92 tackles. But Tyrese Knight, can you hear him? He's in the bullpen. He's ready to go. The matchups on the outside will be very interesting indeed. The Patriots are led by Stephon Diggs. Diggs has been around Minnesota, Houston. He's had injuries, the Buffalo Bills. Guess who leads the Patriots? 85 catches, over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's got 11 catches for 73 yards and a score in the playoffs. Diggs wears number 8. In perfect conditions like I expect, I think the ball's going to travel to their veteran a little bit more than it has been lately. He can run a lot of routes. Most of his routes right now are crossing routes. He's got almost 300 yards receiving on shallow crosses, basic crosses, and deep crosses. He's an excellent crossing route runner, you see. That means he's good after the catch. The other receivers, Kayshon Boutte, number 9. He leads the Patriots in the playoffs, almost 150 yards receiving. Boutte, he is their deep ball receiver. Keep an eye on that Boutte, man. He might go deep. If you pressure him, they're going to hand signal him. You can ask Stingley and the Houston Texans. This guy has 5 touchdowns that have traveled over 20 yards in the air. That's T. Higgins-like. He and Higgins lead the league in vertical shots for touchdowns. The other receiver, welcome back Mac Hollins, another ex-Raider that Josh McDaniels brought to New England. You know, he got hurt. He had an abdominal problem. He missed some time. But Hollins, the 6'4" badass, he comes back last week. Did you see him walking into the stadium? That hair was flying around. I don't know what he was saying. What was he saying, Jake?
Warriors!
Warriors?
Come out to play!
Yeah, Warriors! I love this guy, man. I love guys that have juice, guys that can run. And who'd they go to on that flea flicker? Freaking Hollins. He's a big, strong, badass. He's going to come in here and block these safeties. He is a true Patriot. I love this cat. But the matchups on the outside are really cool, man, because my man, number 21, Devin Witherspoon, he's playing right corner for the Seahawks. 90% of the time he's been outside this year. Used to be playing in the slot. But with Nick Emanwuri in there, Witherspoon has been focused to play on the outside. You better watch the cat. He's going to blitz off the corner in this game, I promise you. You can ask the Arizona Cardinals on a couple of those play-action passes, especially when you're the short side of the field. He's coming off the left side, man. I'm telling you. He's a hell of a player. Did you see those two pass breakups he had? Third and fourth down in the red zone at crunch time last week? God, he's something else. So if you line up on the left, you're going to see Witherspoon. If you line up on the right, you're going to see a platoon. You're going to see Josh Jobs, number 29. I expect him to start. He has done a hell of a job this year. And Reek Woolen, number 27. He's a former Pro Bowl player. Yeah, he had the taunting penalty, whatever he was saying over there, but he's had a hell of a postseason. They got two really good corners over here and a great corner over there. Man, they're lucky to have those guys. But the straw that's really stirring the drink is this nickel corner, Nick Emanwuri, the rookie out of South Carolina. You talk about big plays. He's got 3 PBUs against the Rams, 2 on back-to-back plays. He'll slide into the box and play like a linebacker. This guy's a hell of a football player. He's got playing speed. He's got instincts. He's no different than Kyle Hamilton of the Ravens. Mike McDonald had Hamilton with the Ravens. Big Nick has come through big time for the Seahawks. Guys, he's not a nickel corner. This is a linebacker. If you stood him next to KJ Wright, you would say, which one's KJ Wright? They are big, good-looking Seahawks, man. I think the Seahawks got to keep an eye on the tight end of the New England Patriots. Hunter Henry. I love Hunter Henry because he's a classic tight end. He plays in line. He plays on the line of scrimmage. He can block the C gap. He can pass protect. And he's got almost 400 yards of receiving from the tight end position. He's not out here. He's not over here. He's in here playing tight end in a conventional alignment. And he does a lot of great things in the running game, the pass protection game, and as a receiver, he's got 6 red zone touchdown catches. Keep an eye on number 85. Austin Hooper, number 81, another man with Super Bowl experience, will play. But it's Mumford, number 74, the big jumbo tight end that played 40% of the snaps in the second half last week against the Denver Broncos. And the safeties for the Seattle Seahawks, they're very talented indeed. Kobe Bryant, number 8, is the strong safety. He's good coming forward. He's good in reverse. He's been a good open field tackler, and he has some interceptions and big plays. The other safeties, Julian Love, he holds the fort down. He had 4 tackles last week. Great communicator. Makes sure everybody's lined up, and this guy is a good eraser tackler. And Jeff Okada, he's coming in here from Montana. I don't know where they got him, from the mountains somewhere. When Julian Love was hurt, Okada plays his ass off. So it's a really good blend of 3 levels of defenders for this Seahawk defense. You know, this dark side defense, I started thinking about the Legion of Boom. And I started comparing the names. Man, if you're a Seahawk fan, you've seen some great defensive teams. Son of a bitch. Let's go. Okay, this Seattle Seahawk offense against this New England Patriot defense, equally intriguing. The Seahawk offense led by Clint Kubiak. I think he's going to be a head coach here within the next day or so. What a job he and his staff have done. First year in Seattle, the Seahawks, they're in the top of just about every offensive category, but so is this Patriot defense. It'll be one hell of a matchup. The Seahawks have a real strong menu of plays. They're balanced, and they can do a lot of things well. And that's what's really hard to defend balance. You got to defend a really good running game. And yeah, they use that outside zone that his dad, Gary Kubiak, ran with the Denver Broncos when they were in their glory. They're not exclusively an outside zone team. They'll run some tight zone. They'll run some gap schemes. They have a lot of inventory in their running game. But the menu of plays, drop back, play action, movement, screens, draws, they have some gimmicks and some reverses. It's a lot to defend, but it's 50-50, run and pass right down the middle, and that's tough on a defense. They use multiple personnel groupings. They'll come out with 11 personnel, 3 really good receivers, Cooper Kupp, JSN, Rashid Shaheed. Then they'll come at you with 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and 1 back. They'll use a fullback and get into some 2-back sets. They'll go jumbo with 2 tight ends, 2 backs, and 1 receiver. They got a lot of inventory. It's a credit to them. And I love the RCE that I see on film. Darnold at the line of scrimmage. He recognizes defense, and then he starts communicating with his skill people in his offensive line. And that's what leads to high levels of execution. Recognition, communication, execution. This is a really fun offense to watch. Plus, they're under the center 52% of the time. You know, when we won our Super Bowl, the one thing I'll say is this, Jake. We will be the last team to ever win a Super Bowl to never use 1 snap in the shotgun. Think about that. We played 19 games. Every one of them was under the center. And I know I'm old and outdated, but the Seahawks, second in the league, 52% of the time, they're under the center. Only the Rams at 58% were under the center more. And when you run the outside zone, some of the coaching points are to stay on your track. Stay on your track. Press it, read it, jam it up in there and take what is there. Cut it back, bounce it. But you got to do a great job on your track. And most of the time, the outside zone is run when the quarterback is under the center and the tailback is 7.5 yards deep. None of these bullshit pistol shotgun things. Old school, man. And I love it because it's this running game. It's this zone, this outside zone and the duo scheme that sets up some of the greatest play action passes in pro football today. I mean, for instance, they're playing a game earlier, I think it's Carolina, and they act like they're running a wide zone with Walker. And they fake the ball with great extension. The offensive line has great hat speed in the hole, great fake, and here comes Darnold out of it. And then they take the backside tight end. He comes across and he sifts and blocks the backside defensive end, and Darnold pulls up. And here goes Jackson Smith and Jigba across the field. There goes Cooper Kupp. And all the Carolina Panthers fall back when they recover to see that it's a play action. But what does A.J. Barner do? He just sneaks down the sideline wide open for a gash. I mean, some of these play action passes off of this wide zone, they're downright nasty. Ooh. This play action pass that the Seahawks has, it's lethal. They're averaging 12.2 yards per attempt on play action passes, and Sam Darnold has thrown 14 touchdowns. And when you watch Jackson Smith and Jigba get free with all this time down the field, good God, it's impressive, man. The Seahawks have really been impressive in the playoffs in the red zone. 8 drives, 7 touchdowns, 88% touchdown, phenomenal. They were 21st in the NFL during the regular season, so they have really played very good offensive football in the postseason. I really believe the Patriots on defense are going to pepper Sam Darnold and the Seahawks with blitzes. They have blitzed more in the postseason by far than they did during the regular season. So I think some of the best plays that Kenneth Walker is going to make are picking up blitzes. And remember, Zach Charbonnet is not here. Charbonnet played a lot on third down, played a lot in the 2-minute drill. So Kenneth Walker and his backup now, George Holani, are going to have to pick up some blitzes because I know the Patriots are going to bring some. In short yardage situations, the Seahawks have bought into the tush push, but they don't call it a tush push. They're using a tight end. They're using A.J. Barner at quarterback 10 times. And I think 8 times out of 10, he has gotten a first down or a touchdown. But they call it the what, Jake?
Barnyard.
the barnyard. So as soon as you see number 88 at quarterback, yes, you're expecting the barnyard sneak. But just like the Eagles, I suspect Kubiak has got a contingency play. Don't be surprised if he hands it off to somebody else or pitches it or acts like he's going to run it and throws a pass. Mark that down. You heard it here at the FFCA. All right, the New England Patriot defense, Zach Kerr has taken over the play calling. We've said that several times this year, and what a job he has done. They're blitzing more in the postseason than they did in the regular season. And this defense, well, without swearing, getting all excited, they are kicking the shit out of people, man, in the postseason. I mean, 3 points for the Chargers. They intercept Stroud 4 times of the Texans. And then the Denver Broncos get 7 points. They're giving up 8.7 points per game in the postseason. Only the Baltimore Ravens in 2000 gave up less points in the 3 postseason games than the New England Patriots. And I think the Patriots are playing with a major chip on their shoulder. No one gives them credit. Nobody looks at the Patriots like they have household names. They're always talking about the Chargers defense, Malisack. Always talking about the Houston defense. Then it's the Denver defense. Well, guess what? Red, white, and blue, man. The Patriots are kicking the crap out of their opponents right now. And they're doing it with all 3 levels of their defense. But I think they have a chip on their shoulder. They would love to show the number 1 defense, the Seattle Seahawks, how it's done. I believe that. I mean, heck, this New England Patriot defense was 4th in scoring defense during the regular season. So they've done it all season long. And they are healthy now at the right time. At least they are up front. They give up a 52-yard pass to Marvin Mims last week, and that was about it for Denver. With 5 second-half drives against the Denver Broncos, they gave up 32 yards. So that's impressive, man. The tackling is very, very good. They're 6th in the NFL in tackling percentage. They play their ass off as well. When you freeze the camera at the end of the play, you'll see 8 or 9 Patriots hauling ass running to the football. Great energy, great attention to detail. I think one of the keys for this Patriot defense is, remember, they do have some ghosts in Sam Darnold's background. They intercepted him 4 times. They're 4-0 against them all time. Sam Darnold has 1 touchdown pass and 9 interceptions. He's 0-4 against these Patriots. And I know he was with the Jets 3 times. And I know he was with Carolina. But if the Patriot defense can get off to a fast start, maybe Sam Darnold's starting to think, man, these fucking Patriots, they're pissing me off. Maybe they can get in his head a little bit, perhaps. New England's defense has got to start with Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is the go-to back. He touched the ball 23 times last week for Seattle. Zach Charbonnet is out. They've got to really zoom in on Walker and take him out of this game somehow. Set the edge. Make him come up inside. Gang tackle him. They've got to blitz. Make him pick up some blitzes. But they have got to stop Kenneth Walker where they can unleash some of these Zach Kerr blitzes. Remember, he's had 2 weeks to come up with some protection beaters that Seattle hasn't seen. I love the way the Patriots mix things up on defense. They'll play 4 across quarters coverage, 4 deep, 3 underneath. And you'll start attacking that with your play selection. But then they'll play man-to-man. Then it's man-to-man again. Then it's a blitz back to quarters. They do a great job of spinning the dial and keeping quarterbacks off balance. They've been excellent against the run in the postseason. They've been excellent against everything. But I mean Harvey for the Broncos. He had 13 carries for 37 yards. Woody Marks had 14 carries for 17 yards of the Texans. And Vidal of the Chargers, he had 11 for 31. Those 3 feature backs have averaged 2.2 yards a carry. And then when these quarterbacks have thrown the ball, I'm talking about Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, and Jarrett Stidham. They're only completing 51% of their passes, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's been a very good collection of defense from the Patriots. They only blitzed 26% of the time in the regular season, but that number's up over 40% in the postseason. And some of these blitzes, man, are downright nasty. So I really think the New England Patriots are going to heat up Sam Darnold. I wouldn't even be surprised if you don't see the old swarm blitz, I call it. They did this one time against Houston. It looks like it's a single high defense. We're not blitzing Sam Darnold. We're not doing anything. But on the snap of the ball, they bring both inside linebackers, and here comes Woodson right over the face of the center. And this is an all-out blitz. Zero coverage, and you'll see the other safety rally to cover the tight end. But they are coming, and they're not going to show it to you. They don't necessarily line up in an all-out look. They'll show you a single high look, and on the snap of the ball, here they come, man. I thought the Patriot defense statistically struggled in the regular season. They gave up 67% touchdowns, man. That's 30th in the NFL. But in the playoffs, they've only given up 2 touchdowns in 8 possessions. It's down to 25%. So they're locking down and they're getting off the field forcing field goals. Last week they won on a 4th and 1 against the Denver Broncos and won that football game. I think with the Patriots, you can't just stop JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I know he's got the numbers. I know he tore the Rams up last week, 10 catches, 153 yards. You can't focus your entire attention on number 11, Jackson Smith and Jigba. You got to give full respect to the rest of these receivers. Cooper Kupp won a world championship with the Rams. He's a former Triple Crown winner, and Seattle went to him late in key situations last week. And they fell asleep last week with Rashid Shaheed on the opening possession. He tore him up for a 51-yard catch. Every one of these receivers for Seattle is dangerous, so they have to have a great approach to handling that nucleus. But I love the Patriots secondary, man. They have been in lockdown mode in the playoffs. These 3 games, it's hard to believe, but they have 16 legitimate PBUs. They've intercepted 5 passes. 16 PBUs and 5 picks in 3 games in the postseason. You're doing something right. Opposing receivers have averaged 9 yards per catch. So not only are they covering you and rejecting passes and intercepting them, they're putting you down, man, as soon as you catch the ball. It's been impressive, man. And the Patriots, they have some rushers of their own. They aren't getting the national respect, but I think this is their opportunity. This is their stage come Sunday in Santa Clara. They have a great inside rush. Milton Williams, number 97, the ex-Philadelphia Eagle. He was an ass kicker last week. And Christian Barmore. These 2 defensive tackles are in the top 5 in pressure this season in the NFL. They also have an emerging star, K'Lavon Chaisson, the ex-Raider. He's got 10.5 sacks, 3 in the postseason, 7.5 in the regular season. Number 44, Chaisson. And if Harold Landry comes back, hell, he had 8.5 sacks in the regular season. And then they got a young guy, Elijah Ponder. Get to know him. He wears number 91. He's been playing his ass off in Landry's absence. But it's this pass rush of the Patriots. They have to get after Sam Darnold. And remember, no matter how we look at the turnovers, nobody's turned the ball over more than Sam Darnold. They got to force a couple to win this championship, I do believe. Let's take a look at the matchups. The offensive line of the Seahawks has a bullseye on their chest, just like the Patriot offensive line does. Charles Cross is back at left tackle. He is a hell of a player. He is healthy, and he's a guy that can pitch shutouts. Left guard Gray Zabel, as good a rookie left guard as I've ever seen. I said it last week. He's got a chance to be another Steve Hutchinson. Pro Bowl badass. That left side of the Seahawks is as good as you will see. Now after that, they have struggled at center a little bit. Sundell, he gave up 5 pressures and a sack last week against the Rams. He had some issues in pass protection now. And Anthony Bradford at right guard, number 75, there's the man I think Milton Williams is going to go after. Bradford has struggled. I thought he gave up 7 pressures and a sack. He struggled against the Rams in pass protection as well. And Abraham Lucas, number 72, has been up and down. A stellar left side. But from center to right tackle and pass protection, I think the Seahawks can be vulnerable against this Patriot front. And it's these inside guys of the Patriots that create a lot of problems. Starting with Milton Williams, he's wearing number 97. This guy is a world champion Philadelphia Eagle. They gave him over $100 million for games like this. I expect to see him over here against Bradford as many times as you can think of. And number 90, Christian Barmore, he is a pain in the ass to block. He's a great run defender. He has great stamina. He's not a great closer in terms of getting the sacks, but he gets a lot of pressure and he creates for a lot of other people. Very disruptive. He can play end in their base defense. He plays tackle in their sub package. He can play right side, left side. He plays a lot of snaps, and he is a pain in the ass to block. They also welcome back their nose tackle, Kairos Tonga. Say it with me, guys.
Tonga.
Tonga. We like Tonga. He can play fullback on offense in short yardage. He is a hell of a nose tackle, and that's one of the reasons why it's going to be hard for anybody to run the ball when he's out there. He wears number 95. They also use number 94, Corey Durden, as a man to keep Tonga fresh. So they have 4 good players inside, but Milt Williams and Barmore are a pain in the ass. On the edge, one of the great stories has been K'Lavon Chaisson. Chaisson, we already know he has 10.5 sacks, but it's the disruption, it's the pressures, it's the pick 6 that Marcus Jones returned for a touchdown that he forced. He has really been an incredible player. He had 10 sacks in his first 5 years, Malisack. He's got 10.5 sacks with Zach Kerr and Mike Vrabel. What a story he is. And if Harold Landry plays, you can see the problems that the Patriots present. But let me tell you, if Landry doesn't play, you better do your homework on number 91, Elijah Ponder. This guy's the one that picked up that fumble and ran it in last week against Denver that they called back because they said you can't advance it. What the hell are the rules on that play anyway? They also use Ponder in reverse. He can play in coverage. He'll cover kicks and play on special teams. Vrabel, I think, sees himself in Ponder. This guy's from Cal Poly. He is a badass 91. And in 2-minute drill situations, this guy will be out there because they love him. The running game of the Seahawks is going to go through Kenneth Walker. And Kenneth Walker is the every down money man for the Seahawks. I don't think they want to use his backup, George Holani, a lot. Holani had 3 carries for 4 yards. He did catch 3 passes. And you remember that one pass that could have gone for a lot of yardage. He wasn't looking at the right time. There was some frustration there. But Walker is a hell of a player, man. This guy's a big play back. Did you see some of those moves in the hole last week against Omar Speights? Whoa, he was gone. I mean, he disappeared. He's got 256 yards from scrimmage in the 2 playoff games, 111 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns against the 49ers, over 100 yards from scrimmage against the Rams, 23 touches, man. He only averaged 15 touches a game in the regular season. But there is no Zach Charbonnet. It's going to be Kenneth Walker from start to finish. There's another Super Bowl candidate, MVP. They'll use Brady Russell, number 38. He is the backup fullback that's been pressed into service. And as I said, you might see a little bit of George Holani, although he only had 22 carries, 73 yards in the regular season. And these linebackers of the Patriots, they're led by Robert Spillane, ex-Tennessee Titan. He's a Vrabel guy. He epitomizes the Patriot way. This guy's a rugged football player. He leads the team in tackles, and he's missed 4 games, man. He got hurt last week. Hurt that ankle, played 13 plays, did not finish. So keep an eye on Spillane. You know, when Spillane is on the field, the Patriots give up 3.7 yards per carry rushing. But when he's not out there, they gave up 4.6. You think that's a coincidence, Clay? No, it's not. Now, if Spillane can't play, it'll be Jack Gibbons that'll take his place. And Gibbons is a hell of a player. He took his place during the regular season. He took his place last week. Gibbons is 4th on the team with 71 tackles. Another Titan. I mean, they get Spillane and Gibbons from the Titans. They're getting all these players from the Raiders. What the hell are these teams doing? Gibbons played 50 snaps against Denver, did a hell of a job. They also used Christian Gonzalez, the ex-Philadelphia Eagle. He wears number 53. He's the guy that blitzed. He's the guy that forced the fumble that won him the game. Gonzalez is the guy that hit Jackson Dart on the sideline big time hit and effort play. I love these linebackers of the Patriots, man. None of them grew up in this system. They got all three of these guys in free agency. On the outside for the Seahawks, their passing game goes through Interstate 11. Jackson Smith and Jigba, I call them JSN. You got to think about this where's Waldo when you're talking about JSN. It's easy to say, let's rotate this way. Let's double him. Well, guess what? He lines up here. Then he's in the slot. Then he motions over here to trips. Then he's the strong side receiver. They put him in the backfield twice last week. He comes out of the backfield and runs a route for a touchdown in a red fringe. This guy is versatile. He can kick your ass on the outside edge of the numbers. He can kick your ass in the slot. And he can run routes from the running back position. So where is he going to be, and what is our communication when we identify where he is? It's going to be very important. He has home run speed. I mean, I saw Jackson Smith and Jigba run a post route and blur the screen. He has incredible savvy and quickness in the slot. He's an excellent receiver after the catch. He's elusive, he's powerful, and he has phenomenal hands. I mean, this guy, he can catch the rock away from his body. He could probably catch the ball blindfolded. I mean, you think about last week's game, 10 catches, 153 yards and a touchdown. Only 5 guys in the history of football have had that kind of dominance in a championship game. It's easy to criticize coaches, like, how come you don't cover that guy? Well, let me tell you, he's going to line up on the outside, and he's going to run a full route tree. Then they're going to put him in the slot. He's going to run a full route tree in there. They put him in the backfield, and he runs routes coming out of the backfield. They'll put him on the strong side, and he'll run routes from the tight end side. He'll come in motion and insert between the tackle and the tight end and run routes from there. And then they're going to put him in these tight slots, and they'll spray his release, and he'll run wide departure out routes, wide departure double moves. Where is Waldo, man? You got to find number 11 to dictate some of the special coverages that you're trying to play to stop him. And when he lines up on the left, you're going to see Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots, who wears number 0. And I don't know when it was officially. Maybe 7 or 8 weeks ago, you hear this light bulb. Boom, boom. It just went on in Gonzalez. I mean, he was a good player. But 6 or 7 weeks ago, that light went, what? What'd it go, Jake? Boom. Yeah, it made that noise. He turned it on. The guy's phenomenal, man. I mean, when you throw the ball at this guy in the fourth quarter, the QB rating is 0. This guy ended the Denver Broncos last week. They threw the ball up. He went up and got it. Gonzo is going to look for JSN in key situations throughout the game. That is worth the price of admission, man, let me tell you. On the other side, it'll be Rashid Shaheed. You know we love that name. Say it.
Rashid Shaheed.
Be careful with Shaheed. Come over here, Clay. Let me show you this. Shaheed, he can get on top of you like he did last week against the Rams. 51 yards just like that. But he also is used very strategically as a clear-out receiver. I mean, they're going to run Shaheed on some of these deep angle routes where it's ultra high at the back pylon, and this is at warp speed. And he'll take the corner with him, he'll take the safety with him, and you'll see Jackson Smith and Jigba run a deep cross, and you'll say, why is Jackson Smith and Jigba wide open? Well, that's because Rashid Shaheed just blew out the top side of the defense. They use him as a receiver, and they use him as a clear-out man that really furnishes this down-the-field pass offense big time. I mean, Rashid Shaheed has 14 touchdowns in his young career of over 40 yards. Forget about the return aspect. You better watch out. I said it last week for 9 balls, reverses, fake reverses, and clear-outs. This guy's a weapon, man. What a pickup by the Seahawks. And in the slot, how would you like to have Cooper Kupp, the ex-LA world champion Ram? I mean, this guy won the Triple Crown. Catches, yards, touchdowns. And he has become a leader. And if you ask a lot of people in the clubhouse, I will bet you they will tell you Cooper Kupp has as much to do with the emergence of JSN as anybody. He has taught him about a down-to-down process. A lot of receivers, they're worried about, where's my catches? Where's my catches? I think JSN is worried about down-to-down dominance. Down to down to down. And I think Cooper Kupp has really helped him. Not to mention, Who's the best blocking wideout in the league? If it's not Cooper Kupp, he's in the top 5. So all the receivers emulate him, they study him, and they listen to him, and he's helped them big time. Plus, he is a clutch, badass receiver, and he's healthy. And remember, he had some injuries this year. The Rams basically told Cooper Kupp to retire. You're done. Well, John Snyder saw something, gave him a 3-year, $45 million deal, and Cooper Kupp is back in the Super Bowl. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl a few years ago. Don't forget that. Over here, if you line up on the right, you're going to see Carlton Davis, who's done a nice job playing corner, the ex-Detroit Lion. Carlton Davis has 2 interceptions in the postseason, and if you look at the target reel against Carlton Davis in the postseason, it's 8.3. So Gonzo and Carlton Davis have been great. And then the nickel corner, my man Marcus Jones. He's my favorite Patriot. He's a badass. He's just not real big. He's got cat-like quickness. Do you know what his factor grade is in these playoffs? He's got 14 tackles, 11 solo, one of them on 4th down against the giant Justin Herbert. Kaboom, Alisack! 4th down, that series was over. That was a game-changing play. He has a pick 6 against the Houston Texans. This guy is playing his ass off. 4 PBUs. And as a punt returner, he will wear you out if you make a mistake. So this secondary of the Patriots against these receivers, it's got me feeling good. And these 2 Golden Bear safeties of the Patriots have come out of nowhere. Remember Kyle Duggar and Jabril Peppers? They were the safeties of the Patriots. Well, they're no longer there. It's the rookie Craig Woodson, 4th round pick. And then it's this Jalen Hawkins, a former 4th round pick of the Falcons. They played 1 year together at Cal. These 2 safeties have played a huge part of the Patriots' success. Who's the Patriots' leading tackler in the postseason? It's Craig Woodson, who had the interception against the Houston Texans. Craig Woodson. I will say this though, Woodson. You didn't think Woody Marks was going to knock your ass off like he did. Boy, did Woody Marks give him a hit. I was impressive. But Woodson has played great. And Jalen Hawkins, he has also played very solid. They're going to have to deal with the 2 tight end set that the Seattle Seahawks use. Matter of fact, when the Seahawks get into their 12 personnel, I think it's the best thing that they do. They average over 7.5 yards of play in 12 personnel. And it's A.J. Barner and his barnyard tush push that make him a significant piece of this Seahawk offense. He's another old school tight end that plays in a classic on the line of scrimmage position. He's got almost 400 yards of receiving from a natural tight end position. He'll run corner routes, shallow crosses. This guy's a reliable football player. Been quiet, just 2 catches, 13 yards in the postseason. But his unselfishness and down-to-down playmaking without the ball are a big part of this offense. Eric Seibert will be another tight end they'll use on occasion, and you'll see Nick Callerup, okay, a young tight end, come in here and do some dirty work. But this game, it's got it all. At the end of the game, just start thinking about the 4th quarter pass rush. Who are you sending out there to go get their quarterback? In the history of the Super Bowl, my favorite 4th quarter pass rush was Von Miller 10 years ago going to get Cam Newton with 4 minutes left. It was 16-10. Von Miller, sack, strip, game's over, man. How about the Super Bowl Bengals and the Rams, 4th quarter? Aaron Donald on 3rd down. Aaron Donald on 4th down. Game's over, 4th quarter pass rush. But my favorite, how about Warren Sapp for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to get Gannon to put that game away. Sack, strip, fumble, man. You got to have a 4th quarter rush. So is it going to be Lawrence? Is it going to be Leonard Williams? Byron Murphy? Is it going to be number 58 over here, Hall, Mafe, or Nwasu? This 4th quarter pass rush has got to get it done for Seattle, and the same thing for New England. Chason, Milton Williams, Barmore, and it could be number 91, Elijah Ponder, being the player of the game. You got to have a 4th quarter pass rush to win. Well, you got to pick somebody. This is the game we've all been waiting for. I just love Sam Darnold. I love the Seattle Seahawks in this game. 27-17. I coach Brad Johnson. I've been around Steve Young and Doug Williams and Joe Theismann and Jim Plunkett. Some of these quarterbacks that just keep hanging in there. They keep working. They keep fighting. And that's what Sam Darnold has done. His fifth team, he's going to win a world championship, 27-17. It's got me feeling nicey, man.